I offer a question and not a statement. When is someday? I had my sermon prepared for this Sunday. I was ready to share with you the 3rd chapter of Exodus. When Moses encountered God for the first time, he stood upon holy ground and had to take his shoes off. He looked into the bush that was burning, but was not consumed. He heard God's voice say, "I am that I am, and I've heard the misery of my people." It was my expectation to share this word in this new rhythm of this pandemic as we record the sermon early prior to Sunday. But the press of current events moved into the homiletical space as tragedy hung in the air. My spirit is vexed, I must be honest, and my heart is broken, and my rage is only tempered by the holy lament anchoring me in this moment. The death of Ahmaud Arbery was heartbreaking. The death of Breonna Taylor was soul-wrenching. And witnessing the death of George Floyd has drained my soul. When is someday? Now I know the song, "We Shall Overcome." It rests in my memory as the song speaks about we shall overcome someday. But I have a question of when is that someday? Is someday when there are no more bones to break, throats to choke, hearts to stop, and sleeping women to shoot? When is someday? Now, I must admit that deep in my heart, I do believe people of grace and moral courage will one day render a new painting on the canvas of this broken democracy. But when is someday? Is someday nothing but a distant dream dangling before us as a demonic taunt? I don't know. But I do want to know, when is someday? How many bodies must be broken, lives lost, mothers wailing in anguish, and then you say, some of you, "I need to wait until all the facts come out." What else do you need to speak with some degree of authority when you see a human being die before your eyes? A man dead in the street, killed by a man kneeling upon his neck as he gasped for his last breath. I guess it is easy to dismiss death with the people dying before you when they're only considered 3/5 of a human being. When is someday? Is it the moment caskets filled with black bodies block the view of Central Park from Trump Tower? Is it when our throats are so weary from shouting in anguish that speech can no longer be formed upon our lips? When is someday? When is someday? When is someday? When will that day come? When is someday? As a person charged with the prophetic care of this congregation, known as Trinity United Church of Christ, I must address the collective pain that is felt not only in this village, but across this nation, especially to those who desire to no longer live under the viral agent known as racism. We as a people are called to do more than pray, shed tears, or stand in protest for one day. Now, all of these acts are necessary and needed as an outgrowth of our trauma and spiritual therapy. I say this to every person who is under the sound of my voice. This nation has a fundamental flaw in its soul. This nation has a spiritual defect that only a revolution and revival can heal. A moral revival, a spiritual revolution. where lives matter, repentance takes place, and systems are destroyed by light that banishes the darkness. I must share this with you. I love this tradition, the tradition we call the Black Church. I love this tradition of hope that is unafraid to face horror, this tradition of possibility that is afraid to stare down pain. I'm a follower of Christ. I am a believer in the God of Harriet, the God of Frederick, the God of Fanny, the God of Richard, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. We must face these moments with a spiritual power not drawn from the well of the one who oppresses, but from the power that has the power to transform us, that has been passed down, which is much stronger than any other power that we will encounter. And I say to you this day, do not ask the question, where is God? I challenge you to hear the question that God is asking of us today, where are you? It is not where is God, but where are you? Each of our ancestors took hold of this question and they answered the call to open doors for generations not yet born. Harriet did not ask, where is God? She heard the question, God saying to her, where are you? Sojourner did not ask, where is God? She heard the question, God saying to her, where are you? Frederick Douglass heard the question and said, I answer. Ida answered, Du Bois answered, Garvey answered, Mays answered, Thurman answered, Fanny answered, Ella answered. Are you going to answer? Or will you just curl up in a corner and say, where is God? Instead of hearing the question that God is saying to us, where are you? If our ancestors could handle a cruelty we will never witness in a lifetime, then we must know we have the power to build a movement from these moments. If you are watching this, I encourage you to sign the petition on your screen and give your heart and mind to being part of a movement that is for our children and is for our children's children. For those who are part of this faith community and wider village, we are thankful to God. We're thankful to God that the people who watch of this broadcast are not just part of our tradition. They are not even just part of the Christian tradition. We are grateful to God that we have been given a global audience of more than just people of African descent. And I say to you today, those of you who are Jewish, Muslim, Christian, Buddhist, Hindu, Sikh, Yoruba, agnostic, and atheist, we invite you to go to your spiritual leaders or family members and do not demand that your imam or rabbi speak out alone, but give them the power to speak. Tell them that you will stand with them, that we will speak together. And I, as a lay leader or as a congregant, I will protect you from the slings and arrows that those who are cynical and those who have a painful and broken spirit will throw at you. For those who claim members in sororities and fraternities and other exclusive clubs, before you throw up your next sign and do a step, go to your leadership, to whatever particular group you are part of. I know you have your shouts and have your signs and your handshakes, but your organization also must be part of this movement. It's not enough to step if you're not going to teach people how to step into the future. If you are a union member, sit down with your leadership and tell them that we cannot be a union until we unify together and weep together in this moment. And for those of you who are funeral directors, you must be tired of unnecessary death in this nation. I say to every funeral director, gather together. Place signs in your windows and on your websites. that you stand collectively as an organization, as a group, as an association, that you no longer want to cast dirt upon caskets of young people, men and women who have died too early. Unnecessary funerals. For every musician and artist and poet, gather your kindred and write songs and poems and create pieces of art that will inspire us. It's not enough for you to just sell your art and have an art show. You must speak to the Spirit with the gift that you have been given. And for those of you who are entrepreneurs, make sure your business is speaking into this moment. That you stand with people, with families who have lost loved ones. But I speak especially today to those who live a life of comfort, private schools and elite colleges, and receive weekly allowances that could feed a family of 5. Know this: your wealth is not based upon your intelligence or your cunning. Some of it may be, but much of your fortune was negotiated in the crucible of pain. Make sure that you stand with those who are hurting. And for you, the elected official, the politician, do not speak because it is politically expedient. Have enough courage to open your mouth and speak about what is wrong. You will not have the answers, but you can build a coalition with others, and together we can transform what is happening in this world. I had to speak to you today, and it's a shame that the sermon that I preached 2 weeks ago is more relevant today than it was 2 weeks ago. Because I did not just speak about Ahmaud Arbery. I talked about the history of how black bodies find themselves broken in the street. And this day we will replay that message because it is relevant today. I invite you to share the message with someone. I invite you to sign the petition. I invite you to join this movement. And let me end with this. If there is any minister that is listening, any pastor that is hearing the echo of my voice, if you are watching this stream, if you have been boxed in by a particular theology where on Sunday all you can talk about is what is personal, there is a place for the pastoral and the priestly. I do not debate that. But we are in a state of emergency. And for you who stands behind a pulpit, have the gumption to open your mouth. Do not hide behind simple prayers. Do not use the pulpit to hide your inadequacies. Speak with authority, with love for a revolution and for a moral revival in this nation. We need you and your voice. And for those who just simply post on Facebook, Instagram, and on Twitter, we need more than characters and memes if we are going to change what is happening in this nation. Sign the petition. Join an organization. Become a part of a movement. Get your behind back in church and demand that the organization, the institution, the church you are part of be in the community, ever seeking the community's heart. A space where Christ is proclaimed, but lament goes forth, and the people of God are seeking to be the hands and feet of Christ. When is someday? I don't know. But the one thing that I do know is there is a power given to us by one who created us to combat evil action with moral imagination. We hold on to an ancient spirit and righteous ideal older than the spool of time. We share this word today. We share this sermonic film once again today. May God keep you. May God bless you. And may you not lose heart in this struggle. And join in raising the question, when is someday? Let us begin to build someday today. God bless you.